Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your January soul session. We're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards. Let me move my mouse for the month, of January. We're starting off with an overall energy as well as a challenge, and then we're getting into you guys' cards for the month. The overall energy, makeup hand. Wait, poke in the middle. Okay, wait, no. Okay, almost. Okay, there we go. Your overall energy for the month of January is the Six of Cuppies. So coming into the month of January, okay, wow, these cards are repeating themselves. By the way, your challenge is the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So anywho, like I was saying, coming into the month of January, there could be a bit of nostalgia that you guys are feeling, thinking about, the good old days, the good old times. Very well could be, sorry for shuffling in your ear. It very well could be that some of you guys for New Year's Eve, were spending times with friends and family, and that kind of caused you to feel a bit nostalgic. Okay, we got two hidden influences. Let's go with it. But anyway, overall, I feel like there's more or less this energy where Virgo is I don't want to necessarily say pining, but desiring for a time when things were simpler, or desiring for a time in your life when things were simpler, when you were happier, or a time when you were able to connect or fraternize with people who may not be in your life every day. But all in all, there's some desire for some past state of being that's going to be pervasive this month. Now, the challenge for you guys, very similar to Leo as well as Aries that I did prior to you. So if you have that in your chart, check it out. With the Ace of Wands in the reverse, and you guys challenge energy, that's pretty much saying to me that there's a desire for a new beginning, but that's kind of halted. And my sneaky suspicion with this would be because there has to be some sort of resolution with the Six of Cups energy. So whatever this connection is that you guys have with the past, or this desire that you're having for the past, or this blah. I really cannot talk today. This nostalgic kind of feeling that you guys are having, there needs to be some sort of resolution in reference to this, or like an aha moment that you guys, or would behoove you guys to have in reference to this. And it's kind of like a block to that new beginning for that soul purpose, because I feel how it is that you guys chart forward in the month of January and ultimately throughout the course of 2024 is ultimately going to be heavily influenced by whatever this, feeling of nostalgia is, or whatever this desire is. And I feel that's going to kind of manifest in one or two ways. So it's either going to be you guys fully embracing it and recreating the past in your present, like calling that old friend, and spending time with them, or, calling that person from the past, the one that got away, whatever, and fraternizing with them again, or accepting that, that was then and this is now, and more or less freeing yourself from that particular thing and allowing yourself to move forward free and clear of the past. It's kind of putting it into like compartmentalizing it a bit, in a sense of like, that was a wonderful time. I learned a lot. I experienced a lot. I really enjoyed that. But, that can no longer be because of, XYZ, and kind of accepting that. It's like, I don't know, spirit, the ethers, however you want to look at it, to have kind of like a pause in January to get clear on how it is you want to chart forward before you actually do. Because I look at it that way, in a sense of, and I've talked a lot about this in Capricorn. I was talking a great deal about planting seeds and things of the sort, and how you don't want to take good seeds and plant it in unfertile ground because you're not going to get a result. So I feel like everyone's more or less being given an opportunity to get very clear on where they are and what they want before we move forward, so we don't end up kind of repeating patterns that aren't in the best interest of our progression, like we may have done in 2023. Now, getting into you guys cards for the month, your child. They're doing fireworks outside. I grew up in New Orleans. I was about to hit the floor, y'all. I hear pop, 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 and it's like, sorry about that. Anywho, so your central energy, the card that's representing you guys for the month of January, makeup hand. I'm going to figure out with this lighting eventually. We have the 5 of Swords. So it's a little bit of conflict, little petty squabbles and things of the sort. Our energy coming in from the latter part of 2023 slash December. So your immediate past. Interesting. We have the 3 of Wands in the reverse. What's in you guys above energy? So like our little ether hovering energy, we have the 10 of Cuppies. That's a good thing. Desiring for emotional fulfillment and things of the sort. And what's in you guys hidden influences? 2 cards came out for you guys. What is up? The freaking Ace of Wands in the reverse and the 6 of Pentacles are like stalking everyone. You guys have the 6 of Pentacles upright and the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands, if I can get it to do the thing. Wait a minute. Dagnabbit, it's not gonna. Okay, there it is. I don't even think you guys care if you even freaking see these cards. It's like force of habit for me. You have the 6 of Wands in the reverse. And then going forward into your immediate future, we have the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. This is interesting. This is interesting because it's a whole vibe I'm getting with this. And the first vibe I'm getting, I feel like I have to say this before I get into each card because like this just came over me like a wave here. The vibe, the first energy signature that's like screaming out at me is like, how can I say this? It's like self-denial, if I could say it that way. It's like a Virgo person who, on a heart level, right? There's something that you really want, but it's like you're denying yourself of it. I hope you guys did not just hear my neighbor's kid. There were some expletives that were just screamed out. So we're gonna move it right along. But anyway, the vibe I'm feeling with this, I have like a huge, I don't know why I feel the need to say this, but like I'm in my living room and there's like a ginormous, like floor to ceiling picture window right there. And that's the only thing that I hate is like whenever like me inside or people outside, like because that window is so huge, like you can hear. But anyway, but anywho, what I'm feeling, it's like a self-denial where like on a heart level, you really want something, Virgo, but for some reason, it's like feeling like you're not allowed to have it or something. And I know that sounds kind of crazy. It's reminding me similar of what I said for Aries, but it's kind of like you having taken a position on something for so long. And this is funny. That's actually a perfect example. Talking to my guides. I was reminded of this preview for like a Hallmark movie that I saw a commercial for. And, you know, it's one of those little cornball movies. But the movie is about these 2 sisters, and both of them got their heart broken like a bunch of times, right? So I quit love or why I quit love or something like that. And they pretty much just like bashed relationships and how stupid relationships are and so on and so forth. But the whole premise of the movie is that one of the sisters ends up like meeting this guy and she's like super mean to him, but then she ends up falling in love with him. And it's like this whole struggle between her having this bond with her sister in the podcast and like her falling in love and that being like the whole, you know, conflict or whatever. And it kind of reminds me like what I'm seeing, this energy that's pronouncing itself to me. That's kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. Not saying that it's that exactly, but it feels like something that Virgo took a stance on a long time ago, right? Or at least, I mean, yeah, I can't even say just prior to this reading. It literally would be a long time ago because it's something that's like ingrained to the point where people around you know you for this particular thing. So I think that's why they were showing me the little flash of that movie, because it's like if you have a podcast about a particular subject area, like people are going to know you for that and they associate you with this particular thing. So I feel with the Six of Cups, the overall energy is speaking to a fact that you're thinking about a time prior to you being the person you've been presenting yourself as up until recently. And it's almost, I don't want to say like you feel shamed or anything like that, but it's just kind of like you're desiring this thing, but it's almost like this struggle. And that's like what I'm seeing in this Five of Wands. It's almost like taking a stand on something almost to your detriment in a sense. Like, and because the whole point of this would be is the stance that you've taken or the hill that you're willing to die on, right? It's like this is all created by you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like this is some birthright, position that you've been put in. You know what I'm saying? You've been born into this. It's like it's literally a persona or a way of being or an opinion. You know what I'm saying? A stance that you've taken on something that all comes from you. Like it no one else made you do this. It's just you decided to stand on this hill and you made it your hill. You know what I'm saying? And even though, and with this, and I honestly, I'm looking at this, I can't even say that this is like one particular person. I literally feel like this is what the message is for Virgos in totality. It's just different stuff for each of you. But more or less with this 10 of Cups being here, and like your above energy, so like your spiritual influences that are like, hey, pay attention to me, right? With this being the 10 of Cups, it's like you're desiring and wanting to align with being emotionally fulfilled, right? My sneaking suspicion is that with this Six of Cups, whatever it is that you're nostalgic about, or, that once upon a time, what could have been type of energy, that energy is here to work with this 10 of Cups energy to get you to kind of realize like I'm really not 100% happy, I'm really not 100% fulfilled in this particular thing or person, situation, circumstance that you keep thinking about or keeps kind of wrapping around is kind of trying to act as a hint to tell you like, hey, maybe you should look at this, maybe you should consider this, because there's something that would lead you to this 10 of Cups. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got four of them. Oh, that actually makes sense. Now that I think about it. It's like the Six of Cups is looming around right now. You only got four. You know what I'm saying? Which is like apathy and being stuck and just sitting around like, I don't know what to do now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you were to grab that Six of Cups, it would get you 10. You know what I'm saying? Just doing a little tarot math, moving right along. But anywho, but it's more or less, I feel like kind of allowing yourself to tap into that energy is letting you know, like that desire, like that's a true desire of yours. And if you go after that, that's where it is that your fulfillment comes from. However, I feel the energy you guys are standing in this month with this Five of Swords is because of, this stance you've taken or this judgment that you've made. But I feel what the whole message is for you guys to know is a lot of what I was saying a few seconds ago is this is something that you created. You know what I'm saying? So the same way that you created this, persona or stance or whatever, this proverbial podcast, right? You're the same person who can deconstruct it, right? Because as human beings, it's like we're always evolving, we're always growing, we're always getting in new information. And when new information comes in, our opinions can change, our stances can change. You know what I'm saying? So that way we're not staying stagnant. And even looking at this Three of Wands in the reverse being in the latter part of 2023/December, with the Three of Wands in the reverse, it's saying that there's a desire to move forward, but you have not, right? And I feel that's because there's unfinished business here. Again, going back to the Ace of Wands in the reverse as you guys challenge, right? There isn't a new beginning. There's a desire for one. So once again, you guys are falling into the same fold that the whole collective is. It's like Spirit is giving us a grace period in the month of January, so we can get very clear on what it is that we want and what it is that we're desiring for ourselves and for our life. And it's almost like being honest and living in our authenticity of like, what is it that you really want? You know what I'm saying? What is it that you really want? And giving yourself the permission to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it goes against everything that you stand for at this particular point. You know what I'm saying? Because is it better to maintain an image or a stance that's been created by you if it's self-limiting? Like if the stance that you've taken, that kind of reminds me of what I was saying to Leo too. That's like a different perspective on what I was saying for them, because I was talking to them about like overworking. Like if you get heartbroken and it's like them overworking or spending a lot of time with people so that they don't have to feel the heartbreak. It's like, if I were to see this with what I'm seeing for Virgo, it could be similar to that in the sense, like just like that freaking movie where it's like you get heartbroken one time and you've created this limiting behavior and limiting beliefs around, you know, people ain't shit and they're just going to mess over you. So I'm anti this now because of this one particular person that screwed me over, past tense. But I feel these feelings of you thinking about yourself or a time in your life prior to the shift that you made. That's like a statement from the universe of saying that, you know, that former version of yourself needs to be integrated with your present self. So there's like a full resurgence and like transmutation of the self, if you will. So you're like a complete new person. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, it just feels like a shallow kind of victory for me. Because looking at the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse going forward, it's like I usually see this card in the context of like, you know, quitting before the miracle. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can see this twofold. I can see where that's relevant, because if you were to continue forward into January in 2024, the way that you've been up until this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can totally see how that would be quitting before the miracle. It's like, oh, you know, I'm never going to find love. So it's like I'm going hard in the paint with this stuff type of deal. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other side of this, I also see it as needing to quit, like needing to give up. It's almost like paying homage to something that's dead, right? Which would be like this false persona that's created, and that not benefiting you at all, and that being something that you need to walk away from because it's not benefiting you. You know what I'm saying? And looking at your hidden influences here and it's so funny, these are both sixes. And it's like the feminine aspect being pentacles, that's upright, and that's, you know, of course talking about reciprocity. But then the masculine aspect, that of which is the wands, which is also a six, right? It's in the reverse. But I feel with this is screaming to a need for reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? And that's something, like I said, the Six of Pentacles has been stalking all of the signs. It's been coming up and everybody's reading. I done changed decks and everything, child. But with this Six of Pentacles, it's speaking to this giving and receiving and this balance. And how I'm seeing this is not just in the simple context of give and receive, but in an energetic sense of like masculine and feminine, with masculine being action oriented energy, feminine being receptive energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's action and then rest, right? And then when you're in rest, you receive. When you're in the masculine energy, right, in action, you're giving. So you're putting out, and the other one is like you're taking in. So putting out, taking in, putting out, taking in, right? So it's almost, with this being in your hidden influence, it's a scream out in so many words for you guys to step back into this energy. You know what I'm saying? Like to come back into balance. And that's something that I've literally been seeing with everyone. Like everyone I've done so far, it's like, of course, with Capricorn being first and us being Capricorn season, what is said in Capricorn's reading is pretty much speaking to what the whole collective is dealing with in Capricorn season, right? But the thing that I've been seeing with every single sign, it's this screaming out, which was said in Capricorn, of limiting beliefs. It's making it very clear and apparent to us how it is that we have, because Virgo, you're not the only one who's done this. Everyone has. It's just in different ways. How we've created like these false narratives, these false beliefs, these false personas about ourselves. And why we've created these things was in response to some sort of trauma or betrayal or disappointment that we went through past tense, right? So we created this pseudo person in response to this experience. But we've been living as that for so long that we're starting to believe that the false self is actually who it is that we are. And now the authentic self is like trying to break through. So a lot of different signs, synchronicities, and things like that that have been coming up lately for everyone and will continue throughout January to come up, right? Are trying to bring us back to our authentic self, because we can never be in 10 of Cups energy. We can never be totally fulfilled or content or complete or live in joy and peace unless we're in alignment with our authentic self. And the main thing that's keeping us from that is this false self. So there's a need to come to the awareness of that. You know what I'm saying? To acknowledge that, to accept that, and to more or less like come out of agreement with it or relinquish that version of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, just like how you guys are coming in with the Three of Wands in the reverse, you're going to forever stay there. The reason why we're not fulfilled, the reason why we don't have what it is that we desire and we don't have what it is that we want is because how can I say it? It's almost like the dreams and the fulfillment aren't for the false self. They're for the authentic self. So spirit is going to forever hold them away from us, right? Until we show up as the authentic self. So it's kind of like if you think about, I don't know, what do they do now where you still do that? Like if there's something you have to pick up and you have to show your ID to like verify that it's you in order to pick it up, it's like you're showing up with this fake ID and like repeatedly, like your angels and guides are just like, yeah, no, you're not the person. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think anyone picks up paper paychecks anymore. But it's like, I want to sign for it because it's mine. And it's like, you don't look like such and such. You know what I'm saying? You don't look like Amber. Amber doesn't look like this, right? Like Amber has like a golden, hazy white kind of glow going on, and you're looking really red. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's not who it is that you really are. So like the people that are supposed to be in your life, the opportunities that are supposed to, come to you that are very much there. Cause like I said, 10 of Cups is hovering around you. Like that energy is very much there and around you, but those opportunities aren't coming to you because the false self is repelling them away. You know what I'm saying? Or even if we look at it in the context of soulmates, right? Like your soulmate is looking for you. They're not looking for your false self. And why should you expect them to have X-ray vision to be able to look through all of that junk just to see you for who you are? You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to do that? Nope. Because if you was, you wouldn't be living in your false self. You feel what I'm saying? But anywho, that's pretty much what it is that I'm seeing here, Virgo. This whole month is giving you guys an opportunity to rediscover what your true desires are and to come into the realization of how it is that you're holding yourself back from them by being so dedicated to this hill that you're willing to die on, that or false persona or whatever it is, collection of behaviors, whatever the case, like whatever this little pseudo thing is that you've created to protect yourself from ever experiencing whatever it is that you've experienced. Is something that I've been saying repeatedly this month. Anytime that you say it's like, I never ever want to experience that again. I never want to be hurt like that again. Never want to be backstabbed like that again. When you're saying stuff like that, that is a limiting belief. Like that is the whole root of what limiting beliefs are, because you're altering who you are and how it is that you show up to have some pseudo sense of control, right, over your life, to prevent yourself from experiencing something. But when you do that, it's like you're manipulating your experience and you're no longer experiencing reality. So it's like the happenstance, like, random happenings of life. None of that's happening because you're truly orchestrating everything that's happening around you. And to wonder why everything keeps being the same, or you're living the same year over and over again, or it seems like you're never moving forward, it's because it's like that shows us what our life looks like when we play God. And we don't ever really do a good job at that. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, that's been your soul session for the month of January. Most certainly, let me know what you think in the comments. But as always, I love your freaking face. And I'm going to see you guys sooner than later as I awkwardly turn this camera off. And sooner than later is probably going to be in the next soul session. So love your face.